All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol BABA, Alibaba Group. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So I stated yesterday my experience with Alibaba and the stock, right, BABA, and I stated how previously in the year I wanted to jump in, and I was a little bit uncertain when some news came out about delisting Chinese stocks back around June or May it was. I don't recall those times, but I do know that I got in on the stock around 204, 203-ish, around that range, and I actually sold around 220. And I kind of just took that small profit. And sometimes I look at this chart and I'm just like, man, I could have just continued rolling with what I saw. I looked at the key stats, right, of the whole entire company, like their income statement, their balance sheet, their future projections, possibilities of growth and innovation. I was looking at what industry it was in and what was its price, and also what was its market cap, right? Like at the time. Right now it's 703 billion, and I'm sure it was a little bit less at that time, but that's still a large market cap, almost reaching $1 trillion at some point. And I was just looking at all those different things and looking at the value of the stock, just valuing the company as a whole and saying there's some room here still for this to grow. And then I was comparing it to other companies, and I'm not saying that comparing them is saying that it's going to be like them or it's supposed to be like them, but just within the same trade world of retail and the internet retail of e-commerce and so forth. And I was looking at Shopify, and I was looking at, Amazon and eBay and all that stuff, comparing all of them. And I know eBay's on the lower spectrum of things, but I was really looking at Baba as like Amazon and Shopify. I was really looking at it based off of those. And I was looking at Etsy and all these different sectors that are within this industry. And I was seeing Baba and I was like, man, there's so much more room. But then that whole news and scandal of removal of Chinese companies and delisting, which then later I saw other articles that for that to happen, it's going to take a few years of passing in Congress and back and forth. And then there was also articles like, no, but there could be an executive order that it could happen sooner. And I just took my profits. And we were still in uncertain times. I mean, we were back in May and June around that time, and we were just reopening and lockdowns were just, being undone, and it was just the beginning of the economy flourishing again, and not just saying that it was flourishing in a big dramatic positive way, but just the beginning catalyst of reopening and seeing where this was going. And I mean, sometimes I look back and I look at this chart, I'm like, man, this ran up. And like I said yesterday, you live and you learn. And one thing I took the most from this is that speculation and news, I'm not against it. It's awesome. But sometimes it takes you away from the focus of the fundamentals of looking at the chart, looking at the company and saying, I see value here. I see value that's missing. And this is why I'm getting in now. No matter what news happens, news is what creates all this up and down. If you look at the chart and it's moving up and down, but if you look at it, it's moving up and down and working its way up to a newer high. Now, we just recently saw it dip, and I understand that, but through the ups and downs, it's going to work its way back up. And these are going to be ups and downs, and when we look at the whole chart, for example, let's say it doesn't work its way back up. It works its way like this. Well, it's going to keep doing those ups and downs. And when we go ahead and look at the chart as a whole, and we go ahead and see what's happened over time, yeah, it fell and stuff, but it's the ups and downs of the market. Now, a lot of people are stating that Baba is going to be on its way up to newer highs, and there's a lot of great news for it. I still feel uncertain due to the fact that, they're still trying to do that executive order or try to even make that happen. And if it does happen, it's going to take years from now. So I'm just trying to play it safe. But Baba is a great company. It's a phenomenal company with growth. an opportunity of innovation and just continuing to go ahead and dominate the sector that it's in. And I just look back at the chart and I'm like, man, I should have just went with what I saw, you know? So one of my best advices is always go based off the charts. News will always tell you what's going on right now, but the charts will tell you what's going to go on in the near future. And that's what's really important about picking a stock. Not what's happening right now, but what's going to happen in the near future. Now, if you're trying to day trade or swing trade something, I get it. You're going to run off of news 100%. You're trying to jump in and out and so forth. But a company like this is not something that you just decide to day trade. This is something that you purchase and you're going to hold. And if any of you guys disagree with me or agree with me, I would love to see your comments down below on that information. And I know that we're here for a stock chart analysis, but I wanted to also share some extra knowledge from my own experience. And just remember to always pay close attention to the charts. If you're looking at the income statements, you're looking at what sector it's in, and you see value, don't let news hold you back from actually gaining those profits that you could have gained. I gained my profits. I'm glad with what I took, but I always look back, and now it's actually at a price where the most I could see this go up is anywhere from $30 to $50 from where it's at, and especially based off of the history. So it'll break through these numbers if it goes up about $50, but that's basically landing back or a little bit above those highs that it recently reached, which I can see that valuation actually happening. And if it passes that, it'll pass it slightly and we'll see where it goes. But I don't like to predict things. I just like to go based off of the history of the chart, based off of what the company is doing and where the company is going. So I just wanted to iterate that, share that with all of you guys. For the first time viewers and for all my subscribers, just wanted to go ahead and give you guys all that information to be aware to always go based off the charts and what you're seeing, and also the income statements, how profitable the company is and what's their debt to equity ratio, so you know what risk you're taking. Because a company with a lot of debt, that's jumping into a company that has a lot of risk, and you're taking that risk too because your money's in that stock and all that stuff comes into play. So you're going to want to look at that and so forth. So let's go ahead and see here what happened. So the resistance level was broken and it reached newer highs. And it reached all the way up to about 272. We're sitting at 270.45. And let's see our new resistance level and our new support. The main thing here is we're at the end of the week, and this is going to make things a little bit turbulent, either in a good way or in a bad way for the beginning of next week. Because this is a wild run at the end of the week, and there is no real true support level here where the bears had a chance to appear except for down here, which I'm going to talk about this number as well before getting to the 50-day moving average and so forth. But it's a really big run, and we're already seeing the bears after hours appear slightly. They're appearing very slowly, but it's incredible to see that there's a slight dip here. Now, that doesn't mean that the bears have won or that the bulls are losing control, but you're going to want to monitor this one very closely next week. Very closely. And the most important number right now to be broken through, so that the 50-day moving average, which is down here at about 260.92. Let's see if I can land exactly on it. Yeah, it's jumping around. 260.92 is our 50-day moving average. As long as we're above that, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below that, the bears are in control. So for the bulls to maintain this control and work their way up to newer highs, they need to break through this resistance of 272.39. Super important point for the bulls. Now, if in one day they don't break through it and they're hanging out sideways, that's okay, because the 50-day moving average won't catch up to it that fast. But if it starts to break through support, they're just getting to the point where they're both working together to meet up in the middle. And that can actually make this end up in bearish territory again, giving leverage to the bears. So I want to emphasize for all the bulls, 272.39, that needs to be broken through. Needs to be turned into a support so that the bulls can break away from it and reach newer highs. On the other hand, we have our support level, and this support level is 269.04. If that gets broken through, the bulls are losing traction, but you still have a large window here between the 50-day moving average and support to see how this is reacting. You have that opportunity to see if the bulls are reappearing or are the bears tearing this down fairly quickly. Now, before the 50-day moving average, you do have this support here, which is the first drop of bear, and that's 261.91. So it's still pretty broad. So if you want to use that before the 50-day moving average, you're more than welcome to. But to really narrow this down for you guys, I would actually choose one of these right here in the middle. I believe maybe this one right here would be a perfect one to use, which is 265.04. It is not a real support level. It is a support level that I would use as an indicator to see how far this is going down, or how far is this working its way up. How far is it staying away from 265, or how close is it getting to 265 and about to break it? And then now you can kind of break it down between that point and the support here. And then you can kind of break it down between the 50-day moving average. So these breakdowns here are for you to go ahead and have some sense of direction of where this is going, and then also pay close attention to the behavior of the stock. But your true support level right now is based off of the 269.04. I narrowed this down as much as I can up here so that you guys can quickly see who is dominating. But remember, we're still in bullish territory as long as we stay above 260, because all of this is bullish territory. And if the bulls reappear, they're on their way back to gaining momentum, staying above the 50-day moving average, but they need to break through 272.39. I want every single investor to be aware of that. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.